Hey everybody, I'm Lisa Young Sutton and welcome to my channel. The theme of today's video is getting back to basics with the Lenormand method of distance. Now I just laid this grand tableau last week for one of my husband's friends and I thought it would be perfect to use for a couple of videos. Now for this first video, I'd like you to focus on only one thing, and that is, will this man is the seeker. He's the primary significator, okay, that I call the seeker. Will this man get the transfer that he applied for at work and relocate to another town from his city apartment to a suburban house? Okay, this is a 6-month spread. All right, now don't get sidetracked by looking at his relationship, because right away you're already seeing stuff over here probably, or health, or finances, or anything else. I want you to only focus on the fact that this man asked about the transfer through his job that he applied for that would enable him to move out of his apartment and into a house. Okay, that's the only thing you should be focusing on when you look at this. And that focus is the operative word here, because just knowing that's why this man came to the card reader, right? That is his question. That is his primary concern. That's what's on his mind when you're looking at the cards around him. That's what they are talking about, okay? All right. Now, the question that I asked when I laid this spread was, how will the next 6 months go for Tom regarding his application to transfer within his company and relocate to the suburbs? All right, so that was the exact question I was focusing on when I was shuffling these cards. So the first thing I did before I shuffled the cards was to decide on the topic cards that I would be focusing on. Okay? You know, in a grand tableau with the method of distance, we use life area cards or theme cards or topic cards, all right? And that's kind of the points that we look for as we travel through this map, okay? So, what topic cards did I focus on before I laid this spread? The man, obviously, he's the seeker, but also the lady, because that's his wife, and she's part of this, right? The anchor for his job. Yes, I went back to the anchor finally as my work card. I mentioned it in a few videos. It was my first work card, and then I switched to the moon because that's what Bjorn used, but I'm over the moon now and back to the anchor. I'm over the moon that I'm back to the anchor. Okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter what card you choose for your work card. I'm just saying that I return to the anchor. Okay. Let's see. So, man, lady, anchor, right? Those are topic cards for this, but also the stork, obviously, for the actual relocation, right, as well as the transfer or promotion through his job. And the garden references other people, but also as a topic card for this particular question, it refers to the suburbs, because that is really what's pushing him. Is ever since COVID, he's wanted to get out of the city and to the suburbs, all right? And lastly, the tower, because he does not want to live in an apartment anymore, okay? So those were the main topic cards that you could say charged. I charged them with my energy as I was shuffling those cards, all right? Okay, so what do we want to look at first? Whenever we have a grand tableau, what do we want to look at first? Now, because his question can be melted down to, will he move into a house in the next 6 months? What you want to do first is use your knowledge of the cards, right? That's your left brain in action, the knowledge you have of the cards. and your intuition, that's your right brain. You want to employ that first, get those two working together by just glancing at the positions of the man and the stork, or the man, the stork, and the house, right? So you just want to glance at them first, and that quick glance and forming a quick opinion without getting into too much of your knowledge and skill as a card reader, that's where that right brain comes in, right? Your intuition. So give him a quick glance. What cards do you see around him, first of all? Do you see any problematic cards? Well, he's got three clubs. Okay, he's got 3 unfavorable cards touching him. That's a lot. Okay. We also have 3 diamonds touching him. So around him are mostly clubs and diamonds. Okay, so the clubs, for the most part, are problematic cards in the Petit Lenormand, but the diamonds are restless cards that bring a lot of energy and change, which can be positive or negative, right? And when you have several diamonds together, they suggest that the seeker has a lot on his plate and needs to be cautious. Okay? They can represent stress and change and just a lot going on, all right? And then he's got, what else? He's got a spade, or he's got 2 spades. So the other 2 cards are spades, which represent security and comfort, and that's exactly what he's striving for. But those 2 spades are met with three diamonds and 3 clubs. Okay? So already you're getting an idea of what your answer is. Now back to those 2 cards, the first 2 topic cards I said. I just want you to glance at them. I don't want you to interpret them yet, but are they within his reach? Is the move within his reach? Is the house within his reach? Are they, which means, are they near or are they far? Okay. Well, they're far. All right, so that is just the first thing you want to do. Okay? Next, if your usual routine is to check the first 3 cards, right? If this is your usual Grand Tableau interpretation routine, is to check the first 3 cards and the center 4 and the 4 corners and the bottom row. If that's your usual routine, go ahead and do that now. Go ahead and do that first. Okay, what do the first 3 cards look like? Well, the house came up as the first card, right? But what are these 3 cards saying? House, rider, and the rider is heading for the tree. Well, for me, they say that taking action or visiting the new house or news of this house is currently held up, halted, still in need of something to bring it to a healthier state. Remember, the tree is not thriving, it's striving to thrive. That's the twist with the tree. That's why you don't want to see the tree right next to any significant card, and people get upset when you say the tree means unhealthy. Oh, I love trees. Yeah, I love trees too. But we're talking about the Lenormand system here. Okay, so this tree is telling you that it's striving to thrive. In other words, it's not there. It needs something to be healthier. Okay? All right. What did the center 4 tell you? Well, they include his card. He's part of the heart of the story. And this position indicates that he's being influenced as much as he is an influencer of the happenings and situations at this time. He's got 2 rows above and 2 below. He's also got 4 columns ahead and 3 behind. I mean, the cards say that he's got a decision on his mind, right? He's got the ways right above his head. He's got a decision on his mind, but there's something wrong. There's the fox. There's something wrong with, we could say there's something wrong with his retirement plan, or the plan for his family. The fox, too, said, what is with these cards? are so slippery. Okay, the fox is saying that, you know, he's trying to manipulate this move for himself. The fox is the card of self-interest, right? He's trying to survive. He's thinking about himself. He's trying to manipulate this for himself, but there's something wrong and probably masked at this time. This is all fox stuff, right? So he's not seeing it within his family. Okay? The fox over the lily says there's something wrong with his family regarding his decision. Okay, let's say it that way. Jeez. All right, we're going to look at all of this in the part 2, right? Video number 2. Okay, so the corners. What do we have? We have the house, the stork, the anchor, and the coffin. So what do those corners say to you? Well, they show that the move to the house, or the change of where he's living currently, is not being swayed at this time. It's not moving. It's not currently moving, yes? And during the 6-month period of this spread, the hope of reaching this goal will end or remain buried. Okay, now lastly, you want to look at that bottom row. It starts with the ship. It's ship, snake, stars, and ring. So it's saying that his journey is going to hit a snag, isn't it? It's taking a detour. It's hitting unexpected complications. Keep in mind, too, that the snake is the card of a competitor or a rival, is it not? Okay, and then we have the star and the ring, which tell him not to give up hope. All right, but let's look at the cards above these. What's currently taking shape is being eroded by the mice, and his commitments are connected to his apartment, or we could say that his work contract is influenced by red tape at this time. Okay. So the ring is also the card of a continuous cycle, a cycle that's going to continue, yes? And the tower is the card of longevity. It tells you, it represents something that takes a long time or will last a long time. So this says that he'll continue his current cycle for a while longer. All right, next you want to look at the rest of your topic cards, because you already glanced at the 2 main ones, right? The stork and the house. But now you want to look at the rest of them and note their distance from the seeker. Let me just remind you, when you were talking about the distance from the seeker, his comfort zone are the cards that touch him. That's the box around him, because he's right in the middle of the spread. He's got a full box around him, but then you go out 1 layer. The box that touches him, these are called his very near cards, but part of his comfort zone is also the near cards. That's the next tier out. So that is all of these cards. He's missing 1, but all of that. So because he's right smack in the middle of the grand tableau, the only cards that are not part of his comfort zone would be this first column and these last 2 columns. Okay? All right. So, yes, now my interpretation of the spread will be in the second video. For now, I want to ask you some questions so that those of you who are learning and who want to take part in this can formulate your own interpretations. So the questions to consider are, what do the cards around the stork say to you? Is the stork near the anchor? That's his job. Is this, remember, he's asking for a transfer, which is basically a promotion too, by the way. Is the stork near the house, right? He wants to move into a house, okay? Let's see. So the stork is very far from both of these, but it does mirror the anchor. It also mirrors the house, doesn't it? So it's mirroring the 2 cards that are connected to it. So when cards mirror from a great distance, they're showing a relationship, but a distant one. So the cards between them will explain why they're so far apart. So in other words, what sits between the stork and the house? What sits between the stork and the anchor, right? So if you look at the cards that are sitting between the stork and the house, because they're all in a straight line here, it's a bit easier. We see the bear and the heart closest to the stork, which represents him trying to manage this, and it shows this is what he desires, yes. But what cards are closest to the house? Well, we get into the stressful birds, and then we have the clouds and the tree, you know. Okay, now when you're looking at what cards sit between the stork and the anchor, it's not a direct line, is it? But we can do some really cool things here. And one of the things that I do, if you check this out, the stork, follow it down directly to here, and then bounce up to him. Okay? Beep, beep. All right? Or you can just, to connect it to the anchor, you just kind of look at all of these cards that are, do like a swirly thing. Do a swirly line, right? All of these cards that are sitting between. Okay? All right. So, now, in the method of distance, we have several other cards to provide an answer to our question. For example, where is the heart? Is the heart in his comfort zone? Will his desires be fulfilled at this time? Where are the celestial cards? That's the sun, the star, and the, where's the star? Star and the moon. And the moon. Is success guaranteed? Is that in his comfort zone, right? Is progress assured at this time? Okay, we're not just looking to see if these are in his comfort zone, but we're reading the cards around him when we get to that, right? Is he being favorably recognized during this 6-month period? All right, where's the key? Does he have access to a solution? Where's the ways? Does he have options and escape routes? Now consider, when these two cards are near each other or together, they can say that the solution is to take another route or you know, choose another option, go another way. Yes? Where's the gang of adversaries? Remember, the gang of adversaries is the snake, the fox, the mountain, and the mice. What about the Providence cluster, the interpersonal cluster? All of these play a role in answering his question. Okay? And you will find all of this information in my second book, which is all about the traditional method of distance. Okay, so after you've taken note of the distance between the seeker and each topic card, that you then want to read the cards touching those topic cards as if they were standalone box spreads, right? I mean, of course, they won't all have, like, say you're reading the cards around the sun. Well, you don't have a full box, but you have all of these cards touching, right? Okay? And after you do that, you can then knight them or connect them to other pertinent cards. So that is all for this video. If you would like, you can post your findings in the comments below this video, or just wait for part 2 and compare them to my interpretation, or you can post them in my Facebook group, Lisa Loves Lenormand, followed by a bunch of other words, where this spread will be posted as a group exercise. I'm going right now to do that. Now, if you don't have my books yet, here they are, right? I just showed you the one. I just showed you book 2, and there's book 1, right? So if you don't have them yet, the information on how to get them is always in the description box under every video, though I can tell you right now they are available from all major booksellers. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. Now go play with this spread. Bye, everybody.